Hi guys, my name is Christina and welcome to my channel. And on this channel we'll talk a lot about how to create comics, and I'm sharing everything I've learned after creating my own comics for more than 6 years. But we'll also talk about art, how to create art, how to enjoy creating art, and how to do art professionally and earn money with it, because this is something that I've been doing all my career. If any of this is interesting to you, please make sure to engage with buttons down below. It really helps the channel, and channel in turn I hope can help you. I post 3 videos per week, so you will not run out of content. And in this video I wanted to talk to you about the idea of investing in your art. Should you do it? Why would you want to do it? And all of those topics. So let's talk about it. Have some notes about it just to be sure, because I maybe have a little bit of different of opinion on this, because people usually say, oh, you don't need this fancy equipment to start a YouTube channel. Oh, you don't need this fancy things to start drawing. You don't need this. Yes, you don't need it. Technically, you still can do it, but it doesn't mean it's bad to have it. It doesn't mean that you should try to get the best things for this if you can. And I wanted to talk about this and talk about those materialistic aspects. So that's why I'm posing the question a little bit differently and asking, should you invest in your art? And you might feel the answer that I have in the way I'm asking the question, but let's go through the points and we'll go in like good order. So first thing, I just want to tell you that I'm a very materialistic person and I have zero problem with materialistic things. I'm that person who wants to get all the fancy new things, on the fancy new tools, fancy new technologies. I like this. This is to me what I like doing with my money. I like to get them, use them, enjoy them. And also, as you probably can tell by the videos I'm creating, I work a lot. I have a lot of passions that I'm pursuing. I have a lot of things that I'm constantly doing for work. I have a full-time job. I have a lot of freelance gigs. I create my comic that I just started to earn money with. It's not big money at all, and it's like, I'm not this the area I'm not pushing. If it's started to earn money for me, that's great, but this is not really, money is not the thing why I'm there for. But also I've started this YouTube, and eventually, yeah, I want to grow it into a business and I want to earn money with it and whatnot. So for me, this is kind of how I like working and doing things in life. I like making my passion my source of income. So that's why I constantly want to work, and I constantly work, and I enjoy working. Working energizes me. I'm not the person who would be like, 9 to 5, so sad, my job is so hard, oh my god, I just wish I have this extra weekend, I need a vacation. I'm not this person. This probably should be a whole video on its own. But to me, why would I have a job that I don't want to do? Like, job takes so much of our time. I better make sure to have a job that is exactly what I want to do. And also my story is that I came here from Russia. I migrated to this country exactly because the job that I wanted to do didn't pay at all in Russia, or didn't almost exist. So one of the reasons of me doing all this thing, packing my life and going to a completely different country, one of the reasons was exactly that I want to do what I want to do, and I want to earn good money with what I like doing and to build this life for myself. So this is something that I'm very passionate about, and this is like, to me, if I don't enjoy what I'm doing for work, probably I need to reassess something and find another, like, I'm doing something wrong in my opinion with the concept of work. So to me, this is kind of how I like thinking about those things. So for me, I work a lot and I enjoy money that I'm making. To me, this is how I work, and I love spending them. I like buying new things. I like buying expensive things. I'm very materialistic. Those things make me happy. I just enjoy. So as you probably can notice, my YouTube channel doesn't exist for very long, but the moment I realized that I actually take it seriously, that I actually can do it, I actually can deliver consistent videos, and I actually able to do it. So this is a project I'm going to do. I immediately upgraded my whole setup. If you look and you see the video that I created a year ago, it didn't have all of this. Like, I have 4 lights, I have a camera with good lens, I have like new microphone. I went through 3 microphones already, through 2 lenses. I constantly update this, and I'm constantly investing in what I do. And for my comic, I get the best computer possible. I update my computer every 2 years. This is the rule. I update my hardware because I don't want any glitches or whatnot. So I'm that materialistic person who likes to get things. I like enjoying them. So to me, I don't see anything bad at all with buying things and being materialistic. So to this thing out of the way, it will not talk about like it's all about how we feel about things, it's about meaningful. No, I'm materialistic, so let's go with that. So yeah, I'm pretty into materialistic things, and also I'm pretty into buying things that are very good quality, that also means they are expensive. I have a pretty solid logic in this one. So again, this video has a lot of backstory in it, isn't it? But I think it makes sense. But where I grew up and was born in Russia, I was born during kind of very bad economy in Russia. Like, let's just say good economy in Russia. It would be like very bad economy in American eyes. Russia is not a wealthy country at all, and you know, people, it's not a wealthy country, like, just let's say that. So but when I was born in the 90s, it was like kind of Great Depression but for Russia, which was absolutely horrific. Everybody was poor. Like, that's like what happened. Eventually some people went up, some people stayed on a certain level, but at this point kind of everybody has this memory of being kind of poor. So I remember my mom was, because my mom also liked kind of creating everything nice and everything beautiful. Like, I mean, she still likes it, like she does custom jewelry, but she would sew or knit clothes for me and my brother and my sister, and then next season for summer or for something she would undo this to keep the threads, like to keep the material she made it out of, or take the fabric out and do something different. So we only had different looking clothes because my mom was repurposing the same material. And the things like tangerines was a luxury. We only had tangerines if there is a New Year's celebration, or if somebody's sick in the hospital, then you go and you buy tangerines and you bring them. Like, that's very special. The same for, you know, like canned fish, luxury. So you understand kind of where I've been in. So I've been in a very like poor condition. And then slowly, as you know, my family stabilized, and then slowly as I started earning my own money, and then eventually as I made a jump and came to Canada and started working harder and harder, and you know, progressing in my career, progressing kind of in my status, progressing kind of in what I can afford. This is where, so I went through this kind of journey of getting the cheapest things, the cheapest things, and everything being the cheapest because this is the only thing we could afford, to slowly graduating to actually dipping my toe in getting things that cost more, that are more expensive. And what I realized very fast is that expensive things, they last longer, and it might even be that you are maybe like losing more money on buying cheap things than you're actually doing when you're buying something expensive. In Russia we have a saying that translates as cheap person pays twice. Basically, the cheap person goes for cheaper thing, and cheaper thing performs worse. That's why they have to go and buy this thing again, or they have to buy an actually expensive and properly priced thing that will serve them, so they actually end up spending more money. So this is kind of where I'm coming from. I know that's a little controversial thing these days. People have different opinions, but I'm all for investing in expensive things whenever you can. Buy clothes that are from good brands, they're gonna last you long. If you buy electronics, buy good electronics that has good warranty and is very high quality, are gonna last well. So this is kind of when I'm going from materialistic side. It's already 10 minutes of raw footage, I'm still on the subject, but I feel like I need to really explain that with the point that I'm going towards. For me, I see great value in buying things that are well priced, but like equally expensive. I'm not just buying something that is super expensive for no reason at all. There's things like that, but something that's worth investing. And I see a lot of value in things like this. And from there, we go to buying those things for your art and for your creative pursuit. To me, it's a very natural jump, because to me, art and your creative pursuit and what you're doing is something extremely valuable. It can be be your business, and be your, like, the purpose of your goddamn life, man. And like, this is, to me, what can be more important than your creative endeavors and things that you're doing out of passion, things that you're doing with your passion. I'm very passionate in this video, you can tell. You can tell in this video we're talking exactly about what I want to talk forever, but it's your passion. It's why you're here, in my opinion. It's what you're supposed to do. If something is your passion and something is calling you, that's where your job is. This is where your purpose in life is. This is where your happiness at. So always follow that. And to me, connecting this with investing things into it is connected. But I see again and again a lot of people who are cheaping out on their art. They obviously, I know, like, art can get expensive. Creative art can already get expensive. But I also see see how people still chipping out on it, or some people don't. It's almost the logic that they have is that they don't take it too serious, or they don't respect their own art and their own creativity enough to spend proper money on it. So their value lies not there. Their value lies in something else. So for example, their value might be like just go out with friends to a good bar and like, 2019 things, but to go and to pay for people, like afford things, and so people have this perception of you. For me, what is more valuable is just invest good money in your creative things that you are doing, and because you already put in your energy in there, you're putting your soul into there. Like, put money where you're putting your goddamn soul. Like, because like to me, how I see money is value. Like, it's a resource that represents value, and where you're putting your money is basically where you're placing value in, like what is in your opinion is valuable. To me, it has to be your passion, it has to be your art. And obviously you don't have to just throw things into there, just putting money into something will not make you better, but there are certain things that it can do. So after I kind of finished that rant, let's jump into another point why you want to do that. This is where people tell you don't need expensive equipment to start YouTube, you don't need expensive things to start drawing. You don't. I was drawing in the toilet paper back in Russia in the 90s because we didn't have actual paper, or I was drawing in the back of my father's lawyer documents because this was the only paper we got, the one he brought from work and he didn't need. Every time I would draw, like I had like this bleed through from ink and like the cross like with the pen. This is the weird stuff I've been drawing on. I also been drawing on a old wallpaper. You don't need it. I would paint with whatever I could, but it doesn't mean that you have to do that. It doesn't mean that you have to go buy some not great conditions. Obviously, you have to assess your own ability to invest and how much money do you have. And obviously, we're all in life. We have to, understand where you're putting our money. Our resources always have to be, divided between certain things. But to me, if you're able and, what you're able to put, I would suggest get yourself better tools. Because they're just gonna last longer and you're not gonna get back a lot more for the dollar that you put in. For example, I will never get computer that is not good for my comic because I want the tool that I'm working with to work. I don't want my tool to glitch. I don't want my tool to burn out, have crashes and weird things. I don't want the quality of my tool to stand between me and my art, really. The tool has to be, in my opinion, as good as I can afford to don't stand in my way and be as invisible as possible and support me in my creation as much as possible. Good tools will not affect your skill, but they will affect the speed that you're working, the performance, the experience, and the level of enjoyment. And to me, these are important. Things like speed, experience, and performance are super important, and enjoyment from the process. It is really important because if you're enjoying what you're doing, the more you enjoy it, the more you're gonna do it. Again, I understand obviously that everybody's situation is different, but whatever you can afford, whatever resources you're working with, I'm just saying consider putting more value into resources that you're putting into your art rather than resources that you're putting, for example, in some other things. To me, this is the area that you have to consider to be valuable to invest things. And I hope, it's a kind of disclaimer, I hope you guys understand what I'm talking there. I'm not saying go in debt or, just sell everything and have this. But for me, this is what I do consider is important. And I remember when I was, as you guys, if you follow this channel, you probably know that I have hiatus with my comic for 2 years, two and a half years, and I almost was not drawing at all. And then it was just because in my personal life, crazy things was happening. But when I was getting back, it might sound materialistic, but what really helped me to boost it up, I got a really good computer. And the computer itself, the tool itself really was supporting me to work because I already was coming from being a little bit secure about my art after not drawing for so long, a little bit unsure whether I should do it or not because I just went through hell and back. And as I was working, just part of me was excited for being able to draw again. And some part of me was just excited to use this new tool. And I definitely feel like it did add to it. And I do appreciate that I was able to do it. So this is something that is important. Your experience, your enjoyment of the process, the fact that tools supports your creative process and doesn't ruin it, doesn't glitch, you know, your pencils don't break, your brushes don't break. And obviously this should be, you know, again, make smart decisions for yourself. At the same time, don't buy whatever just expensive. Do your research. It's not about how much money this thing costs, it's about how valuable this thing is and how good this thing is and how helpful it is for your specific process and for your purposes. So this is where I'm going with that. And then it takes me to another point, is that treat your art with respect. To me, this is kind of showing respect, the value that you're putting into your art and what you invest in your art. This is respect they're showing. I see people who have crazy passions and they have like extra $100 a month and they're like, oh, I'm gonna put it in stocks, I'm gonna try the stock game. And I'm like, well, don't you want to put it like in something that is your passion and something that you wanna, is your dream to make your business? And they're like, yeah, but you know, there's risk, it might work out, might not, I'd rather put it in stocks. But like, isn't the risk kind of the same, except that you actually have more control over what are you actually doing, what is so much depends on you. So show respect to your art, show respect to your skills. At the same time, treat it as your business. It's kind of like, again, it's up to you what you do with your creative process. I always say whatever I say here, like take it, like listen to it, but it's up to you to do. I'm not saying what you must do, but from my experience, your passion has to be like, if you make your passion and what you love doing your job, your business, this is how you're gonna have most fantastic time going to work, you know? So to me, investing into your art equals investing into your business. Like, I guess when you're saying invest in your business, this sounds logical. This is like, yeah, you have to invest in your business. This is what you do with the business. You invest into it for it to grow. So if you start changing the word a business with art and can understand that how those are connected and how your passion can be, and in my opinion, should be what you're doing in life, then it's starting to make sense, right? So to me, this is ideally how you wanted to treat it. And another point that I want to make, the last one, is that this is how parents, good parents, treats their kids' talents, don't they? Right? At least this is my parents did. This is what my parents did, and I'm very grateful for them. For each of us, like I have brother and sister, so there's 3 of us. For each of their kids, they would pay attention what we're naturally good at, and then the moment they notice it, where our passion is, our interest is, and our natural, you know, ability is, they would take us to this class, make sure we go to this group or start doing the sport, so we start doing, you know, go to that school. They would invest into skills that we have and the passions that we have. And every good parent would tell you that this is when they want with their kids. They see what their kids have skill and passion with, and they will send them to a place that can teach them to do it better. And what does it mean? Paying money, investing. If this is what your parents are doing for you, like hopefully this is what parents doing for child who they want to support with what they want to do, don't stop doing it for yourself when you're growing up. Like, these things should be supported. You should invest into things like this. You should invest in your passion and put more value and resources into it, and this is how it will grow. You will enjoy it more, and then little thing you know, it will start bringing income back to you, or it will start bringing so much happiness back to you. It will just add value to your life. So this is like kind of my whole spiel about this, and I know maybe this video is a little disjointed and I went a little bit on more tangents than I usually go, but I'm very passionate about this. And also my hair is like crazy, like, oh, I'm talking about this important things. This is something that I thought I just gonna freestyle a little bit because I just wanted, yeah, it's a lot of backstory here, but I feel like this backstory kind of support where my thinking is coming from. And also, I'm millennial, I'm on the internet, I know how people are looking at the materialistic things these days, and there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with investing with your passion. To me, I was never a person who is like, oh, well, some people are able, some people are not able. I understand there's different circumstances, but I personally worked hard to get where I am, and a lot of people in America don't have a concept of where I've been, you know? And just so you get kind of how it looks. I remember when I just came to Canada and I was passing by what I now know is a very poor area, and I saw this guy who was homeless on the street. I had less money per month than government of Canada gives this homeless per month, and I didn't have rights that this person has. And I also didn't have a right to work because you used to be not allowed to work as a student. You're not allowed because you don't have like a work permit. And I remember I was thinking, wow, this guy has more opportunities than I do. When I just came to Canada, I had no rights to be in this country. Like, I went as a student and I was not immigrating back then. Like this, my kind of visa was you study and then you leave. Eventually, you know, it became a work visa and then you apply for PR. But I had no rights in this country, no potential future. I was not allowed to work. And my parents were sending me money that were decent money in Russia, but they would translate in Canadian dollar in like a ridiculously small amount of money. I remember looking at this homeless man and thinking he has more opportunities than I can. He can stand up and go and get a job. And from getting this job, he can go eventually get other job. He can have multiple jobs. He can grow. This is something that I didn't have. So to me, I'm not gonna be this person who is gonna say, well, having money is a privilege. It's not. It's a choice. You can earn money. The only way that I will say it is a privilege is that if you have a condition that doesn't allow you to do this, like that's hard. And I hope your family and I hope your government supports you. And it's still, I hope you can find a way around to make money for yourself. I hope you can. And this is the only category to which I will accept. I'm a little bit harsh on this one because there's nothing holding you from working. There's nothing holding you from earning money. Get yourself resources. Like if you have something that is your passion and you want to invest into it and make your passion grow, work for it. Work for it any way possible. So yes, you don't need all of that to create art. You don't need all of this to do great things. But also, you know, this logic, if we will say, well, do I need it? If we're gonna use this logic, we're gonna live pretty miserable lives. We should aspire to go for something that is good, for something that is better, and add value to something that is valuable, something like our creative process. So this is kind of my spiel. I hope it makes sense for you. I'm sorry if this video came across a little bit on a more like tough side, but yeah, I hope I didn't piss off too many of you. But yeah, this is kind of my spiel. This is what I wanted to talk about and add to the conversation. And yeah, let me know, guys, what you think about this in the comments down below. And even if you're completely mad with me, I totally disagree, please still let me know. I want to hear it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I gotta see you in my next video that's gonna be more positive and less tough. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope you're having a good day, and I see you in the next one. Thank you so much, guys.